Hi, my name is Katie Gebhardt, and I'm going to talk about visionary leadership. It's one of the leadership papers that I enjoyed most. I went over basically the traits of visionary leaders, the other leadership, charismatic leadership. I went into the different effective forms of it, and I also gave an example of a visionary leader who I thought made a really good example, which was Steve Jobs. The key attribute of a visionary leader is their ability to turn vision into reality. So a lot of my paper was talking about the different attributes of visionary leaders that allow them to turn vision into reality. I also talked about how leadership styles should be adapted to in the demands of the situation. So each different leadership style is going to change depending on what kind of field you're in, what kind of company you run, either way. And I just think that visionary leadership is can be the best leadership option no matter what. The main part of my paper that I wrote about for visionary leadership was attributes that they possess, which is making predictions or their sense of personal destiny or intuition. The reason I chose Steve Jobs as a visionary leader is because he's such a brilliant man who motivated his company with his creations and innovations and technological advances. He's really passionate about product excellence, and unlike many other CEOs, he became extremely engrossed in the details, which played a huge role in how he chose to be a leader. Before I go into talking about charismatic leadership, I wanted to show a video I found on visionary leadership.
This program's about visionary leadership. I'm in London, and behind me is the London Eye. Somebody had the vision to create that. In this program, we're exploring all issues relating to visionary leadership. We'll be visiting a selection of guests who are passionate about leadership and going to a leadership training centre in the Lake District to discuss all issues relating to visionary leadership in more detail.
I think there's a time and a place for enacting it. I've seen people who have a continual stream of good ideas which never seem to go very far at all. The real trick is getting an idea and realising that that really is the right thing to do, and it is the next step, and then moving the organisation on.
I think to be absolutely honest with you, if you're going to be a visionary leader, you've got to. But that doesn't mean to say you're a dreamer. It means to say that you can really see the picture, and yes, it is a gift.
And what's special about visionary leaders?
Visionary leaders are probably people that are going to see way past the goals that have maybe set already within a company. They can see where you're going to go. They can see the 5 years, 10 years, and maybe even 15 years later down the line.
I think, in my experience, you can work at it. Some people seem to come quite naturally to the articulation of the vision, or a sense of what we're all here for, and communicate that naturally. I think others really struggle with it and find it unnatural and have to force themselves. In my experience, it's often worth the effort.
Everyone thinks of today rather than in 3 years' time. What would it feel like? What would be a great year for Mike Wilson at the beginning of January, and I write down 8 or 9 bullets, business and personal life, and that really is my track to run on for the year.
I think that video really gave a good explanation of visionary leadership, and I thought it was really nice to hear about all the different types of it and different people that work under visionary leadership. And now I'm going to talk about charismatic leadership. Another aspect of my visionary leadership paper that I wrote about was charismatic leadership. I went into the different traits of charismatic leadership, articles that I read on that type of leadership, and also how I would like to use these styles in my own life. I wrote about how I hope to acquire and practice habits of both forms of leadership, in addition to implementing the 7 habits that we've read about into my different styles of work.